Welcome to the Slide Ed session, our Inspiration Book Reading Club, day number 2. Let's start this beautiful day with our wonderful book, The Slight Edge, and let's go through it. Just give me a second. And here we are, The Slight Edge. The book is in front of all of you. We read 2 stories yesterday about what's missing and the beach bum. And today we read about the super achiever. This book is The Slight Edge is about all of us discovering some lesson from each, sharing each reflection, each story that is written here, that's shared with all of us here, to think back, ponder, and reflect, and how to have that slight edge in our life. So every day we'll read experiential stories and reflect on them. The super achiever. That semester, for the first time in my life, I got straight A's. I went on to business school and graduated at the very top of my class. Fresh out of college, I became one of the youngest international airport managers in the country. I was then recruited by Texas Instruments. I wanted to be in management, but they said, if you want to be in management, you have to start in sales. Sales. I hated the idea of sales, knew nothing about it, and was terrified of it. But sales it was. I worked at TI for 5 years and went on to become intelligence systems manager. But corporate America wasn't for me. There was a lot of politics which I hated, and I did not feel like I'd yet found the place where I belonged. I then decided to start a solar energy company. I knew nothing about solar energy. I barely knew whether the sun came up in the east or in the west. But with 400 solar companies in the state, New Mexico was a capital of the budding new industry. So ignorant or not, the smart course of action seemed clear. And at first, it looked like I had indeed made the smart decision. Within 2 years, my company was in the top 20, and eventually we became the 5th largest solar air energy company in America. I was thrilled. I was on top of the world. What I did not yet know was that nothing ever stays the same. Everything is in motion. Everything changes. Times changed. Tax laws changed. Our industry was hit hard. Before I knew what was happening, I had lost everything, gone back to zero and below, owing more money than I thought I could even hope to make again. Again, a very important short story for us to understand. You have studied something, you wanted to master something, but when you wanted to do something, you were told, no, you have to start somewhere else. Again, you join a company which you know nothing about, and yet you think that finally you're like doing something which is great, and then it becomes all zero. That's how life is. If we do not manifest, or if you don't believe in the process of universe, things can become bad. That's why people say that there's always a need for plan B. That's why they always say that when you hatch, when you place bets or you place eggs, place them in different baskets. You can't just think that one is everything. And in fact, many people they talk about, if you have 10 rupees, you plan 4 in 1, 2 in 1, 2 in 1, 2 in 1, so that at least there is some plan B, C, D. Nonetheless, the next story in Slight Edge is called The Lesson. You can also share your reflections in the chat box. It would be wonderful for all of us to read and reflect and kind of get another vantage point of what you think about it. The lesson. The night my car was towed away, I sat in despair and thought, this isn't fair. After living as a failure all my life, I woke up one day and came to my senses. Apologies. This just isn't fair. After living a failure all my life, I woke up one day and came to my senses, went back to college, applied myself like crazy, entered at the bottom and graduated at the top, worked for a major corporation for 5 years and went to the very top, built my own company in less than 5 years and went to the top. And here I am, after 12 long years of building towards success. At the bottom again, I am more broke today than when I was gorgeous George on the beach. 12 years of blood and gut. I was more of a failure than ever. I couldn't wrap my head around it. I couldn't see the logic, the justice, the reasons for any of it. Was life just inherently unfair? Was that it? Was there simply no rhyme or reason for anything? Was there no point in even trying? That was when I began to examine more carefully what had happened in my life. I'd been a dropout, a beach bum, and a complete financial failure. And I had also been a straight A student, a top corporate manager, a super achieving entrepreneur in a cutting edge technology industry, and a complete financial success. And all of those had been the same person. So, what was the difference? It made no sense, or did it? For the first time, I began to see that over the years of my roller coaster career, I'd gone through a rich sequence of experiences that held the secrets to success as well as to failure. I'd proven to myself beyond any shadow of doubt the depths of failure that simple daily errors in judgment could produce. I had also seen what simple daily disciplines could accomplish. I just hadn't quite realized what I knew. It was time to pull away the veil of circumstances and look right at the heart of the matter, to go behind the results and examine the actions, and behind the actions to find the attitudes, and behind the attitudes to discover the thinking that held them there. That was when I began to discover and explore the slight edge. Since that time, I have built some extraordinary businesses and earned more money than I have ever dreamed of back when I was a corporate manager or solar energy entrepreneur. I've also experienced more joy and fulfillment within my family and other relationships that I knew was possible. I've also discovered new vistas in my own investment, in my own development, in terms of both health and learning. Perhaps most important of all is that I've built a philosophy that is grounded in reality and the way things actually work, not on luck, but on the power of simple disciplines. I could lose it all tomorrow. It's happened before. I'd survive. But there is something I cannot lose. And with that one thing, I could start from scratch and build it all back up again. That one thing is a slight edge. So, isn't it remarkable to know that from a beach bum to a college dropout to just mowing the lawns in some golf course, and there you just get tickled by, oh Lord, what are they doing that I am not doing, and I can't do this life, and I've got to do. I pack myself, go back to Texas. There are struggles, do so much, become a corporate genius, lose all the money, become zero, think that my life is shattered, and then this book came in his life. And that slight edge made him such a good planner, such an extraordinary guy that he had extraordinary businesses. So I hope that this book inspires all of us when these little stories inspire us, because there's so much more coming in this book, which will be absolutely amazing. The next topic is if only. You're looking good, sir. Looking good. The shoe shine woman was grinning at me. Another customer lost in his early morning thoughts. Another job well done. I looked down. I could see my reflection in my shoes. Indeed, I am looking good. Thank you. Thank you so much. I paid her, gave her as big a tip as I could without, I hoped, having her feel I was being patronizing, and walked away with clean shoes and a heavy heart. She was right for me. Things were looking good. Sir, looking good. But why the beach bum and not the sunshine woman? Shoeshine woman. While my shoes had been getting a shine, the airport had grown busier. I now walked through a growing throng of travelers as I worked my way towards my gate. I noticed all the faces filling past me. Hardly anyone was smiling. Most of my fellow travelers were trudging with their heads bowed down. I saw bored expressions, vacant, porch lights on, dogs barking, but nobody's home. Everybody looked so tired. Failing is exhausting. I heard angry words. I stopped for a cup of coffee and heard a young couple arguing with each other. A burly man scolded his young son to the point of tears. A heavy woman complained about the service, then the prices, then her food, and then started back in the service again. The other people in line nodded their heads. A few joined her in a chorus of negativity. Why is everyone so down? Everything these people need to know to change their lives for the better is already available. All the information they could possibly need to put them on a path of extraordinary success and fulfillment is out there in books, in series, in DVDs, and workshops. There are people to help them, rich, living resources to guide them, be their mentors, teachers, coaches, and allies. I knew that the difference between who they were and who they could be wasn't based on any lack of good information. It was all already available. But why? If the information is all there, all the resources are there, and these people really want to succeed, aren't they doing it? I looked around at the airport as the early morning rush hour swelled its ranks of busy, hurrying, scowling, unhappy people, shambling past with no spark in their faces, no bounce in their step. I wished I could somehow address them all, that I could touch all their lives with my silent soliloquy. The problem, I shouted in my head, is that you don't have a way to process information. There is no framework in place for you to take in all the extraordinary insight that's out there and put it to work in your life. If only you were aware of the slight edge. If only you knew what it was doing in your life and how easy it is to have the slight edge working for you instead of against you. If only you were making the right choices, doing those simple little disciplines that would change your life for the better forever. Where would you be 5 years from today? If only you learned to recognize a slight edge. If only. But it was only in my head. Not a soul heard my words. Nobody that is but me. That day on the plane, I started writing this book. The slight edge is not just more good information. It's not another self help success book packed with some revolutionary new best ways of doing things. You don't need that. Nobody needs that. All the new and better information is already available and has been for years. This book is a precursor to help you use that information. This book is what I hope will help you take whatever information you want, whatever how to's or strategies or goals or aspirations, and turn them into the life you want. This book is what I wish I could have put into that sweet and sad showshine woman's hands. I have since been back to the airport. In fact, I have been back through here many, many times. I have looked for the showshine woman, but she's no longer there. I don't know where she is or what has happened in her life, but I do know that she is not alone. There are millions upon millions of people everywhere I go, everywhere I look, whose lives are not at all as they wish, not that they all yearn for, not even close, and yet they could be. So I dedicate this book to that showshine woman, to her daughter's cheerleading team, and to everyone else in the world who wants more. I dedicate this book to you and to those who have already put the slight edge into practice. So the book hasn't yet really begun, for those of you who may be wondering. So we've come now to the foreword. We began the book yesterday, but again, it was introduction, the beginning, today the foreword, and probably tomorrow is exactly when we start. But whenever I read this book, I think there's so much of depth which is going in the book, and the often, if you reflect, often says things to take back. Forward, the road to the slight edge. It's been some time now since my encounter with the shoeshine lady, and a lot has happened since then. I've been fortunate to be the CEO and owner of many successful companies. So, how did I get here? Well, I've had some help. When you get the opportunity to be around successful CEOs and influential authors and speakers, their wisdom has a way of rubbing off on you. But the main reason for my success and success of other influential people around the world continues to be the daily application of the philosophy I'm going to share with you called the Slight Edge. After my time at Texas Instruments and building my own company, Sun Air of America, which at the time was one of the largest solar energy companies in the country, I went on to build three separate multi-million dollar sales forces, one of which I was appointed CEO. Based on that experience, I founded TPN, the People's Network, which was one of the largest personal development training companies in the nation, producing over 900 television programs on various topics such as family relationships and finance, etc. As a CEO of TPN, I was often regarded as one of the most influential people in personal development. I eventually sold TPN to a New York exchange company. I then took the principles I learned at TPN to help consult for a company, and I have been instrumental in taking them from 70 million in revenues to 500 million. I then took the principles I learned I arrived at these destinations not by being smarter than everyone else, not by quantum leaps of advancement, but by consistently applying the slight edge philosophy. The pinnacle of personal development. As CEO and founder of TPN, I had the opportunity to meet with many of the great masters, masterminds, and thinkers of our time. Influential authors and speakers were lining up at my door due to the large distribution of personal development information our company produced. I sat with Oprah Winfrey for lengthy, in depth discussions on the path of personal development. I spent a weekend with Dick Cinder, then CEO of Simon and Schuster, the largest publisher of personal development, in his mansion in the woods of Connecticut, discussing everything there is to discuss about personal development. I worked closely with Jan Miller, the biggest literary agent of personal development. I even went to Nashville, the capital of country music, to talk with legendary country music executive Jimmy Bowen about mixing personal development with music. I met with about every leading author and speaker topic you can imagine, many of whom made appearances in many of our programs. TPN was making huge waves. I was on the cover of the Wall Street Journal as well as many other publications, including Entrepreneur Magazine and Success Magazine, discussing what TPN was accomplishing in the personal development world. Does Chicken Soup for the Soul sound familiar? It should. This one book has sold over 100 million copies and has spawned several other titles that have been translated into several languages. I was there in 1993 when author Mark Victor Hansen shared with me his idea and dream to create the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. I didn't bring up these examples just to brag or to drop names. I do it to explain what all these experiences have afforded me: a rare opportunity to absorb and amass information from the very best on every topic imaginable and see it all from the catbird seat. We were not just information providers, but information producers. What I came to realize is that the information about how to be successful has always been readily available. But if the person absorbing the information doesn't have the right philosophy to apply it the right way, success will elude their grasp. You see, there is no magic bullet, quick fix, or quantum leap method to reach success. Marketing tactics are used to pull us in 30 pounds in 3 weeks or make money while you sleep. The only problem, although some might have success in the beginning, the results are not long lasting. This ends up frustrating the customer and makes them give up on otherwise great information that, if applied with the right philosophy, would have given them great results. What the slight edge philosophy is meant to do is give you a philosophy that will become a filter for every decision you make. It will give you a way to apply great information into your life in a way that will produce lasting results. It is a missing ingredient to making changes happen. If you understand the slight edge philosophy, then you can effectively apply any sound principle or action into your life with success. And that is a 100% guarantee. In fact, if after putting the principles to work in your own life, you don't see improvement, we will refund every penny you paid for this book. Now, isn't this in itself so powerful? The author, you just bought the book for 2, 3, 4, 500, and they're saying that miracles are going to happen if you find the slight edge philosophy, and if you apply, then success is guaranteed. In fact, anyways, let's back to the book. I have been teaching the slight edge philosophy for many years now and published the first edition of the book in 2005. Many great things have been birthed from the Slight Edge. Success Foundation was created to provide teens with the fundamental principles of personal development and the resources to help them reach their full potential. The organization even wrote the book Success for Teens. Real teens talk about living the slight edge and have teamed up with stellar organizations such as Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Boy and Girls Club, Network for Teaching Entrepreneurship, Just Say Yes, America's Promise Alliance, and Optimist International to get the slight edge principles into the hands of millions of teenagers. Two of the people I mentored at TPN, Darren Hardy and Kim Yancey, and many others have gone on to do some great things. Darren went on to become the publisher of Success magazine and authored a book, The Compound Effect, based on the Slight Edge philosophy. Kim, along with his wife Sandra, created E-Women Network, recognized as a #1 resource for connecting and promoting women and their business worldwide. Another good friend, Todd Smith, penned a great book called Little Things Matter, based on the slight edge principles. These are wonderful books, and I encourage you to buy them to learn more about the interpretation of the slight edge philosophy. Many other readers of the slight edge have gone on to accomplish amazing things by simply implementing the slight edge principles in their lives. Many of the stories we will share with you in this revised edition. So, how the slight edge began, we will read about this tomorrow, because if I start now, we'll miss our timeline of 20 minutes reading. Anyways, it's been 22 minutes. So, time for us to now meditate. So, those of you who joined the session yesterday, I demonstrated how we go about in the Lotus of Gratitude. It's a very fine practice taught to me and many, many people by my teacher Nitya Shanti. For those of you who missed it, I've shared that YouTube video of my teacher on our group, on our WhatsApp group. So please go through it from there and you can practice it. But let me guide you all again, once again, maybe it'll become easier. So now that the day has come to an end and it's time to wrap up the day, let's just sit in absolute quietness, inner quietness, and hear what is being given to us. So let's take a deep breath in. And as we tend to hold the breath and exhale, slowly close your eyes and put your palms comfortably on your laps facing heaven above. If you're already in bed, you could even lie down. If you are sitting, it's even better, because Lotus of Gratitude is done better with being seated. So take a deep breath in. See the wonderful breath going in, your stomach expanding. Hold the breath. Gently exhale the breath. If possible, hold the breath outside. Take another deep breath in. Hold. Gently exhale. Hold. And now you can resume your normal breathing. With the 3 deep breaths, your body has got a command that you're now going to begin meditating. the breath automatically becomes deeper, longer, relaxes you with everything, but automatically. The effort is only done in the beginning. Now create two little buds out of your hands, or create one bigger bud by joining both the hands, whatever suits you. And now think of the first thing which was great today. It could be the beginning, it could be a walk in the park, or your nice cup of tea with some nice news. Think of that one thing and open one finger, being the one petal of the lotus. And as you open the second finger, think of the second good thing which happened today. What are you grateful for? It could be a home, it could be a work, it could be something that you are grateful for. It doesn't have to be something new. It could be something which you had from before. Maybe your staff. As the third petal opens up, let's be grateful to our magical bodies that are so beautiful, so wonderful, so supportive in whatever we do. And if there's anything that you're going through, any kind of dis-ease, just be grateful that all other things are happening in great harmony. Always expand on the right, and whatever is wrong will get righted. That's simple. As you open the fourth petal, think of the wonderful house that you live in. Just be so grateful for it. As you open the fifth petal, just be grateful for who you are becoming every single day, a better version of yourself. And if you're doing two lotuses, then you can keep your hand comfortably on your lap, and the left one or the right one, whichever you haven't used, which is just like a bud. Start opening the petal one by one. If you're using a big lotus, then you can continue to keep opening. As you open the sixth petal, think of something beautiful that happened today. It could be sharing a smile with a stranger, some kind of guidance, or whatever. And if you can't think of anything, then generically thank, Father Universe or Mother Earth or whatever you deem fit. As you open the seventh petal, be grateful for teachings that may have come today. Knowingly, unknowingly, there is something that you have learned today. So be grateful for that. As you open the eighth petal, be grateful for the dreams that you may have had or are continuing to have. As you open the ninth petal, be grateful for the divine synchronicities. And the last petal is a gratitude for all things wonderful, for all things magical that are unfolding. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Father Universe. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you for healing us, for guarding us, for protecting us. Thank you, masters, teachers, angels, and guardians, gurus in this realm or the other, in this planet or the other, in this dimension or the other, for always guiding us, mentoring us. And thank you to everyone for sharing this wonderful space. It's time to sleep tight and have a great night. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll see you tomorrow at 9. Lots of love and light. Take care.